Now it's my pleasure to pass the floor to Mark Burns. Mr. Burns, welcome to the European Parliament. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. First of all, to members of Parliament, you esteemed gentlemen, to all of the wonderful, wonderful people of freedom around the world. I'm Pastor Mark Burns, and I'm truly honored to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, most dangers we fear are the ones we can see. Fire, smoke, pollution in the sky. But today I want to talk about something Electra has brought to my attention, something my global initiative, Spiritual Diplomacy, has since recognized as one of the key areas of work, something so tiny, yet carrying enormous impact, something that may already be inside of us, something that may already be embedded inside of our organs, and it is called nanoplastics. Nanoplastics are fragments of plastic measured in nanometers, thousands of times smaller than the width of a human hair. You can't see them. You can't avoid them easily. And that's what makes it the most dangerous. We were told that plastics was revolutionary, cheap, strong, convenient. We weren't told that plastic never goes away. It never biodegrades. It breaks down into smaller pieces. A bottle becomes fragments. Fragments becomes microplastics. Microplastics becomes nanoplastics. And when plastics reaches the size, it stops being just trash and it becomes biological. Because nanoplastics are so small, they can pass through the cells of membranes. They can enter the bloodstream. They can travel to the organs. Recent research has detected plastics particles in human blood, lungs, liver, placentas, and even brain tissue. This is no longer just an environmental issue. This is a human health issue. So how much are we all exposed? How dangerous are we all really? We breathe them. We drink them. We eat them. Nanoplastics have been found in bottled water, tap water, seafood, salt, fruits, vegetables, and even inside our very homes, the very air we breathe. Every time plastic is heated, washed, or worn down by sunlight, it sheds microscopic particles. Synthetic clothing releases them when it's washed. Tires release them on the roads. Food containers release them when heated. Exposure is not occasionally, it is daily. Now here is the difficult truth. Science is still catching up. Nanoplastics are extremely hard to measure, but early studies are deeply concerning. They show nanoplastics can trigger inflammation. It can damage cells, disrupt hormone systems, interfere with organ functions. They may also disturb the gut microbiome, the systems that regulate the immunity, the digestive systems, and even mental health. There's another layer of concern. Nanoplastics act like carriers. They bind to toxic chemicals, pesticides, heavy metals, and so-called forever chemicals. They can transport these toxins directly into our cells. So they don't just add pollution, they multiply. And one of the most alarming discoveries is their potential effects on the human brain. Some studies suggest nanoplastics may cross the bloodstream and the blood barrier. The barrier exists to protect our most vital organs, to protect particles can These particles, if they penetrate, we're entering a completely new territory. Even more concerning, plastics particles have been found across the placenta, which means exposure begins before birth. For the first time in human history, we may be passing a synthetic pollutant to the next generation before they even take their first breath. Nanoplastics don't stop with us. They move through our ecosystem. Fish ingest the plankton. Birds ingest fish. And eventually we ingest them too. They alter our soil health. They interfere with the plant growth. They disrupt microbiological systems that agriculture depends on. This is a planetary 911. And I believe that even now, moreover, because of their small size, most everyday defenses were never built for them. Standard household filters are not designed to regularly and reliably capture particles at the nanoscale. Standard air purifiers are not designed to reliably remove them from either our air or our existence. Once these particles enter tissue, living tissue, the problem becomes even harder. You cannot simply clean nanoplastics out of the body cell. You cannot easily reverse what has already crossed biological boundaries. And even the solution, we often rely on plastic waste to not solve this part of the problem. Recycle may reduce visible waste, but it does not remove the plastic that has already begun to fragment, disperse, and enter the air. Which means this: even if plastic production slows down tomorrow, it would not undo the exposure that has already begun. This is not a problem we simply switch off or turn off. And when exposure continues, while understanding is still developing, the risks do not remain theoretical. They accumulate in ecosystems, in human bodies, and potential across generations. And that is why the awareness of this issue becomes a responsibility for all human rights, for all human beings, that we realize this danger. It is affecting all of us, regardless of your race, your color, your religion, regardless of your economic system. It is impacting the whole entire human race. That's why I'm here as a spiritual diplomat, to share this alarming message to those who would hear us, that something has to be done. I'm truly honored to be in your presence, to receive and to hear and to be one of the voices that calls a 911. Nanoplastics has to become a mainstream topic, and I am so excited to hear these wonderful leaders that have a solution to this problem called nanoplastics. Thank you so much.